Canvas Studio, and I guess the facilities through the discussion boards and announcements, and obviously giving feedback on their assessments as well. For individual consultations, Zoom is quite good. For large groups, it has its limitations, and part of that, I think, is because we do some of this from our homes, and the internet connections are not what they should be. Certainly, if I know I've got a large group coming up, I actually still come into campus, into H70, and use the universities or the business schools bandwidth, basically, to do it, and I find that's easier. But if I'm just doing a consultation, and I do a few of those every week, because the units are very much project-based, then Zoom is fine, because I can use the desktop, and I can also do what we're doing now. I haven't changed the content particularly, because the two units are projects which are provided by sponsors. So the sponsor outlines a very broad brief, and then the students, in consultation with the sponsor, narrows the brief down and then gets to work on it. So the content doesn't change, it's really just the delivery that changes. And what I find I do is spend a lot more time emphasising how important it is for them to keep minutes of meetings, because these minutes are what we use as an agenda for weekly consultations, with the different groups, the different project groups. It's very important that they keep to their timetable. So right at the beginning, they do things like a team statement outlining responsibilities and how they were arrived at, and also a Gantt chart so that they know when they have to try and hit certain milestones in order to keep on track. So they become far more prominent in the online environment, because they add I guess a lot stricter structure to it than would necessarily be the case if we were in the classroom. Because WIL units are very much project-based, or students are actually normally working at a sponsor organisation's premises, we don't necessarily spend a lot of time on campus anyway. I found that I would spend probably 2 or 3 full days on campus before all of this started, and I still go in 2 days a week, but not for the same amount of time. So therefore, I've always actually done quite a lot of the administrative work, sort of the emailing, marking, even content design, curriculum design, that sort of stuff from home. But what I miss is the interaction with colleagues, which is necessary, because, for instance, if you're doing something like curriculum design, in order to make it, pedagogically accurate or correct, I would say, you actually do need to do a bit of research into student experiences and look at what other people have been doing, so you can design something that has a bit of oomph or meat to it. So I miss that interaction, and I do miss seeing the students. I absolutely do. It's that tired old saying that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Certainly, it's made me become a lot more open to technology. I guess I'm of a generation that was very much educated face-to-face and has always educated other people face-to-face. And bear in mind that I came out of industry. I wasn't a full-time academic before I started with the university about 8 years ago. So it's been a very, very steep learning curve, and I've really started to appreciate that there are certain things that technology does extremely well. Like, for example, what I just mentioned, being able to do really quite intimate, useful, remote consultations with students in small groups or individually. I find that actually much more convenient and a lot more targeted than doing it in my office or in the building.